What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I am your host, Eric, and today we are going to discuss Tennessee, Volkswagen, the union vote, and 6 Republican governors who had something stank to say about the whole ordeal. But first, I want you to click the like button, the subscribe button, the share button, drop some comments, and all that good stuff. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Now, I want you to listen carefully because this is the sound of victory. That's big. That's the sound of the workers when they found out that the vote went overwhelmingly pro-union. And in Tennessee, no less, they voted for the union. The UAW, the workers win their union election at Volkswagen in Tennessee, in Chattanooga. And it's noteworthy that Tennessee last year passed a law saying that state subsidies and state monies would not go to companies that voluntarily recognized their workers' wants for a union. They would force companies to force the workers to have elections. So, noteworthy there. But let's dive into the article. This is from the Tennessean. Came out on the 19th. Let's take a look. Volkswagen workers in Chattanooga overwhelmingly voted to join the United Auto Workers late Friday, giving the union a decisive foothold in the historically anti-union South. Nearly 3/4 of the workers voted to support the UAW, according to the final results from the National Labor Relations Board. Of the 4,326 workers eligible to vote, more than 3,600 cast ballots over the 3-day election. As the votes were counted Friday night, first a trickle and later a wave of bold red t-shirts with white lettering peppered the Union Hall Friday evening at IBEW Local 175. They used the IBEW local to host the election. Go ahead, let's go. Joseph McMullen walked into the hall around 9 p.m. expecting many of his Volkswagen colleagues to have voted to establish a union, but he was not prepared for the overwhelmingly pro-union support displayed on a projection screen. "I think that matters," said McMullen, an Alabama native who works in the quality department. "It sends a message." When the news of the final victory was announced, members of the crowd jumped, cheered, and hugged. Minutes later, UAW President Shawn Fain arrived to congratulate Volkswagen workers. "Many of the talking heads and the pundits have said to me repeatedly, before we announced, that you can't win in the South," Fain told the cheering crowd. "But you all said, watch this. You all moved the mountain." The victory came despite strong opposition from a coalition of 6 governors, including Tennessee Governor Bill Lee. On Tuesday, Lee penned a letter which urged workers to reject unions. I want to pause there for a minute. Understand who is for you and who is against you. These are logical decisions that we have to make. Logical decisions for the betterment of our collective. Understand who is for and who is against. These governors, here's another article for you, and I'll put both of them in the description box. Governors decry the United Auto Workers push to unionize car factories in 6 southern states. 6 Republican governors are condemning efforts by the United Auto Workers to organize car factories in their states, a flashpoint as the labor group tries to build on its success last year, winning concessions from the Big 3 automakers by making inroads in the historically union-averse South. "We have a responsibility to our constituents to speak up when we see special interests looking to come into our state and threaten our jobs and the values we live by," the governors of Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas said Tuesday in a joint statement. Listen to what they're saying. They have to speak up when special interests come looking into their state to threaten their jobs. How do unions threaten your job? Can you explain that? I bet you that if you work for a living, you don't see unions as a threat to your job. And historically, I can tell you, as a matter of fact, that unions raise the wages of all jobs. So who are they really protecting when they say that threaten our jobs and the values that we live by? They're talking about company owners, not the working folks. They're talking about company owners, and they're using phrasing like threatening our jobs. You know what jobs? They're talking about the cheap jobs where they underpay workers and put them in hazardous situations. Make no mistake who is for you and who is against you, and at least be clear-minded about that, because there's too many folks in unions running around not understanding that we are in a fight for our lives, our economic lives, our lives as citizens. We're in a fight for it, and we've forgotten that. For too long, we've forgotten. Now, labor is waking up, but we need our membership to wake up too. We got to stop with the nonsense and being blind to the facts, because the facts are out there for you to see. 6 Republican governors issued a statement before a union vote in Tennessee. That means that 5 governors from states that were not Tennessee decided to put their nose in the business. Understand? They are not our friends. They are part of the corporate overlord, oligarchy, oppressing force that tries to keep us destitute so that we keep manning the machines until they can replace us. Because make no mistake, once they can replace us, they will let us die in the streets. The governors spoke out against the UAW a day before 4,300 Volkswagen workers in Chattanooga, Tennessee are set to start voting on whether to join the union. That's what they did. All right, let's keep going. Back to the other article. Once the victory was announced, President Joe Biden responded directly to those governors in a statement. Let me be clear to the Republican governors that tried to undermine this vote. There is nothing to fear from American workers using their voice and their legal right to form a union if they so choose, Biden said. Third time is the charm. That's right, because they had 2 failed votes. How Chattanooga's Volkswagen plant finally unionized. The UAW had tried and failed to organize the Volkswagen plant twice before, once in 2013 and once in 2019. This election was part of a major campaign by the UAW to win new members in the South, a region that historically has been hostile to organized labor. In recent years, car makers have shifted from the Midwest to the South, with foreign automakers and upstart companies such as Tesla and Rivian opening plants in the region. After years of scandals and declining membership, the UAW has seen its fortunes rise under the leadership of Fain, who was elected in 2023. Last year, the UAW staged a strike against Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis that led to a favorable new contract for 145,000 workers, including employees in nearby Spring Hill. The UAW's ability to organize Southern workers will be tested again in May, when workers at the Mercedes-Benz plant near Tuscaloosa, Alabama, will vote on whether they also want to join the union. This is a new day, and we are just getting started, Fain said. Hear, hear. I am inspired by President Fain's leadership. He is bold, brash, unapologetically pro-labor. That's the type of leader that I want. That's the type of leader that I want to look at and fight for. Somebody who is unapologetically pro-labor, because that's what we need. My name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Remember, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. And remember, there could be no union without you and I front and center. Let's go. Peace.